Hello, welcome to the sideboard here at the Star City Games Modern Open in Indianapolis, part of the SCG Tour, brought to you by Carnox Chairs and Ultimate Guard. I'm Nick Miller alongside Lotus Box's own Collins Mullen. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm very excited for today.
Modern is in a new spot. We've had a lot of new sets. We have a lot of new things going on. A lot of decks revolving around Imri, Lurker the Lock.
Yep.
But you're not just playing the usual. We're not paradoxical outcoming.
Yeah.
We're not Jeskai Ascendancing.
None of that.
We're just flashing back to standard from about 2 weeks ago. We've got Keithis in Modern.
Yep.
What mad scientist came up with this?
Evan Whitehouse. Yeah, his name is coming
comes
up a lot lately
yeah.
when it comes to like interesting brews and stuff. So yeah, full credit to Evan Whitehouse for this deck. He was very excited as soon as the spoilers for Throne of Eldraine came out. Like he had a list brewed up for this because he just like all of the cogs clicked for him, and he was like, I want to play Keithis combo with Grinding Station in Modern. It's going to be great. Yeah.
A lot of this looks similar to what these other outcome decks and these Urza decks are doing, but noticeably, you do not have Urza either. So
yeah.
All those pieces, this is a completely different thing,
it's
even
a very
though it's got
shell.
a similar engine.
Yeah.
Take us through how this deck works.
So, if anybody is familiar with Keithis from Standard, Keithis is this Abzan 3/4 who makes your legendary spells cost 1 less, and you can exile 2 legends from your graveyard to give all of the legends in your graveyard flashback. In Standard, the combo, you could combine it with Mox Amber to essentially aggressively mill over your deck with, I think they used Diligent Excavator in Standard. In Modern, though, we have a much better engine. We have Grinding Station.
Stronger tools all around.
Yeah, we have, not only do we have Grinding Station, but we have an additional Mox. We get Mox Opal as well. So what the combo there with Keithis is, if you can fill up your graveyard with Grinding Station and the artifacts that you're running, you get to stock up your graveyard and then play a Keithis and exile 2 of kind of like the irrelevant legends from your graveyard, giving all of the Mox in your graveyard flashback, and then each artifact that you cast, which are going to be free from your graveyard, you get to mill an additional 3 cards with Grinding Station.
Sure.
So because your deck is like half legends, we supplement our legend count with some of these pretty sweet legend lands.
This is the delightful part of the deck.
Oh yeah.
You not only just have all these legendary permanents.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess lands are permanents as well, but you just have some hits that I had to do some reading.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. Yeah, we were playing Okina, Shinzo, and Minamo, I think are the kind of fun, interesting ones. And then we have some old classics, Pendelhaven, Uborg, Aganjo Castle. Their abilities aren't really relevant to what we're doing, but they are legends, so Keithis can exile them and play them from your graveyard.
Right, just a little bit of free value in your mana base,
Yep.
but also just gets to generate this extra
Yep.
combo.
Yep, and the engine is surprisingly powerful. You don't really need a lot of stuff to go off. Because your deck is half legends, like each mill is gonna mill like 1.5 legends, and if you can start going, you're gonna mill your entire deck, and eventually you'll be able to generate enough mana off of the Mox that you keep on playing over and over again to cast your Jace Wielder of Mysteries and just win on the spot.
Right, so we're mainly winning via Jace. You said you can also mill out opponents if they deal with your Jace.
Yep.
And just like kind of the old KCI decks, you still have Sai. You can win with natural 1/1 beats as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if they're disrupting any particular part of the combo, you can definitely just like make a million Thopters and pass the turn. You know, it's not technically infinite because you are restricted to the legends that you get to cast. But you know, Evan calculated, and he said that you can mill your opponent for like 500 and something.
It's basically
effectively infinite.
infinite.
Right.
Yeah. Battle of Wits isn't even outlasting that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
What's different about this deck, I guess, in terms of strengths and weaknesses compared to all these other decks that are doing a similar thing?
Yeah, so, I mean, Outcome Urza was kind of the big talk of Modern last weekend, and that deck is very powerful. And I think it's, that deck is a little more resilient to hate. This deck is weak to graveyard hate and artifact hate, which isn't like the best spot to be in. But this deck is much faster and I think more resilient in some other aspects. Black disruptive strategies have a very tough time dealing with this. You can cast things over and over again. With Keithis, it's just a huge value engine if you play it late game, and you can just like cast a bunch of legends from your graveyard. And then, but the reason I decided to go back to this after playing Outcome Urza last weekend is because we discovered that Oko was an excellent sideboard option. And Oko,
full play set hanging out here in the sideboard.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So where this deck is really lacking is against the hate postboard, and Oko pretty much solves all of those problems. Oko can either turn a problematic permanent into a 3/3 that doesn't matter, or it can just kind of represent a plan on its own, and against some of the more disruptive decks, just make a bunch of 3/3s and beat them down. And if they've sideboarded into a bunch of like Rest in Pieces and Stony Silences and stuff, Oko just can beat that.
Right, their deck's diluted, has a bunch of hate, you deal with the hate, attack from a different angle.
Yeah, there are a lot of games post-board where you just win with a combination of like a Sai and an Oko, and you just grind them out that way.
Right, much like old KCI, post-board could do the Sai thing.
Yeah.
You have this other plan as well.
Right.
On top of that, you Goldfish arguably faster than some of these other decks.
Yes, I think your matchup against Urza is very favorable. I think you're a full turn faster than them generally, and their disruptive elements just aren't really going to cut it against what you're doing.
Talk about some of the other pieces in this deck. We've got Unearth, Teferi, and Wishclaw Talisman as well.
Yeah, so these are all just like parts of the deck that add consistency. Unearth is surprisingly strong because you have a lot of ways of just incidentally milling yourself. Emery mills you for 4. If you draw a grinding station and you don't have a Keithis, but you do have an Unearth, you can actually like aggressively mill yourself with grinding station, just like sacking all your zeros, and then Unearth can be like a very mana efficient way of getting a Keithis back. So some more consistency there. Most of the fastest kills with this deck involve like playing a turn 2 grinding station, playing a bunch of zeros, milling yourself out, floating a black mana with a Mox Opal, and hitting a Keithis and just like killing them there. And then, yeah, Wishclaw Talisman is actually really, really strong in this deck. You have a lot of ways of sacrificing it or bouncing it to like hinder its drawback. And you're a combo deck, so you love a tutor. You can get whatever you want.
I have to imagine there are situations where you don't even care that you're giving it to them because they're dead and they don't get to use it.
That's like the most frequent way to use it is like activate this, get my combo piece, kill you, and then you don't care. But some late games you can play it and then it'll trigger grinding station, and with the trigger on the sack you can activate it and sack it to grinding station so they don't get it. Sometimes you can like activate it and sack it to Sai. Yeah, it's just like a really awesome tool. And I think the biggest part with it, though, is that it's an artifact that you can get back with Emery. So it allows your Emery to potentially find your Keithis, which is, just makes all the pieces work together.
Quick check here, is it legendary? It is not, unfortunately.
It's not legendary. But a lot of the pieces are, for sure.
All right, rest of the sideboard here, you got an extra Teferi hanging out.
Yep.
Then you have your 3 Collective Brutality, 3 Fatal Push, 2 Engineered Explosives, and 2 Assassin's Trophy.
Yeah.
A lot of this looks to just be answers to hate and then removal, pretty much.
Yeah, there are some problematic creatures floating around, like Collector Roof and stuff like that. You want to be able to hit with the Fatal Pushes. Trophy's kind of a catch-all. You bring it in against any deck that you expect might have like a couple of like artifact or graveyard hate pieces, brutality. Brutality I think is mostly for burn. Eidolon on the Great Revel is a big problem. Stops you from being able to combo off, and brutality is just an excellent card against burn, so it helps a lot there. All
right. Well, what are your closing thoughts on this? This is round 2, you're on your buys,
so
you're going to get ready to get in the trenches
here
next
round.
round.
3.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I love this deck. It's like the kind of combo deck that I love playing. I love all the little cute things that you can do with the legendary lands that your opponent doesn't expect. And I think I'm the only one on the room on this deck, so that kind of makes me feel a little good. About,
last time that happened,
last time was Cincinnati.
Went pretty well for you.
It did, yeah. So hopefully we can run that back. But
all right. Well, if you got your Keithis standard cards still sitting in your binder, I think you got a place for them here.
Yep.
Collins, thanks for joining me on the sideboard.
Appreciate it, Nick.
Stay tuned to Star City Games all weekend long for the action here in Indianapolis.